everyone, creatives, community, and kind folks out there. Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Stevie J, and thank you very, very much for any and all of you that have stuck around, bothered to, you know, sit back and wait for this old grognard to appear before you. So thank you very much. This is technically season 3, and this season 3, we will be doing things we normally do here. We take a subject, and we take that subject and we stretch it out for all week long. We are a podcast, a virtual vlog, if you will, and we will take the subject and we subdivide it each day. Monster Monday, Discord Tuesday, World Building Wednesday, Third Pillar of Exploration for Thursday, and of course Future Friday. So subscriber base has started to grow slowly but significantly. So for those who don't know, that is the general policy of this channel. And unfortunately, just because of real life, unable to stream during December. So we have to touch on some of these things. We do take themes that happen in kind of in real life and stretch them out. And I thought we would do one of the most boring, cliched, overused tropes ever in media history. And I thought we would talk about The Chosen One. Thank you, guys. Willow Packard, thank you very much. And Fantasy Grounds College, why thank you very much for being here. For those who don't know, this channel is simulcast over on Twitch, YouTube, and down in the boiler room over at Fantasy Grounds College. So if you are a Discordian and you would just love to listen in on audio and listen in live, you can catch it. Join us both textually and audibly in the boiler room over on Fantasy Grounds College. And while you're there, hang out with the classmates and collegiates as well. Learn a little something. You might love your newfound virtual tabletop. All right, so today, and one last thing, and I will start mentioning this more so just because I understand that there will, as more and more people start to participate live, I will start asking that if you want to gain my specific attention, please put either question or DBJ at the beginning of your comment. And you guys, you old heads, I already know who you are. So I could name a laundry list, but believe you me, I know who you are. And if you're here live, you already know who you are. But and in order for me to both give you pretty reasonable content and also respond to you, I would like a question or DBJ put at the beginning of the comment so that it'll pop out and I'll be able to just jump in and make a comment about that. All right, let's get back to the subject. So today is Monster Monday, and we're going to be talking all this week about a pretty boring trope known as The Chosen One. And I am not disparaging anyone's or religion, but of course we know in December, Christmas time, we do have the idea of the religious birth, and that trope has been used plenty times. Yeah, Ricker's like, you know who you are. It's like, is that good or bad? You have to make that decision yourselves. So the idea is that there is someone who will be born that will, and then of course you fill in the blank, that will lead us to our doom or bring about a great nation or lead us into peace and prosperity, or will be born with vast powers heretofore unseen, etc., etc. We've seen this before, right? And sometimes there are prophecies. Other people beseech an oracle, or it could be an alignment of the planets. It could be If you want to talk more of a modern or science fiction setting, it may be the first the first biological birth on the surface of Mars, or it might be, the first CRISPR created child to be completely immune to all diseases or something. It could be hard. Yeah, dead man. Like it could be like The Witcher. Yes, very much so. Um, I I saw the series. I really liked it. I like playing with time when it comes to storytelling. Yes, it could be um, uh, 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 somehow foretold that a chosen one will arise, etc., etc. Now, how can we breathe some life into it? Because it's been used often enough. I mean, hell, there is an actual movie called The Chosen One, and pretty hilarious. Eddie Murphy action, or rather, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, all the regulars are back. Okay. I will contend to you that yes, it is extremely overused. Lots of player characters will use this trope. My character was born from the confluence of an arcane ley line and a demon and things like. Was it? Oh, the Golden Child, not the Chosen One. The Golden Child. Yes, that's the movie with Eddie Murphy um, during his heyday. Matter of fact, Charles Dance, Tywin Lannister himself was in that movie. Uh, he was always an excellent actor. Anyway, better than he needed to be in the movie. Anyway, we know this trope has been overused, but there is still life left in it, and I will contend to you that in many ways it has nothing to do with the chosen one. The chosen one concept, I believe, actually has a lot to do with the people and the circumstances surrounding the chosen one. All right, and it doesn't matter whether the chosen one is foretold to be the chosen one. It matters if you believe it is the chosen one. So let's see if I can add some complication in here. And I know, let's see if you can follow me. It's not about whether the the books or the oracles or the planets or the ancient texts or what have you, or the time and space foretells the birth of the one who will come and bring about a new era. It matters whether the individuals involved believe other individuals involved believe whether the chosen one prophecy is true or not. Let me let's see. Let's take let's take a modern day politician. Many of us have them in our own countries, and lots of us don't like them. But there is a commonality amongst a lot of politicians. And you will see that a lot of the politicians will, let's say, they will um, go to their local religious establishments and love to be seen there. Now, most of us are pretty hypocritical, not hypocritical, but we are hypercritical of them, and we understand that this is it's just for the public consumption, right? They have to be seen um, making good on their political aloofness that they are religiously religiously bound. They're religiously biased. And then it's not really whether they believe or not. What they're hoping is that they believe, their constituents believe that they are religious, and that the constituency of their particular religion and whatever type of religious institution they are associated with cares whether they are, right? So prophecies and foretellings and all that kind of stuff doesn't really matter whether it's real or not. What matters is the actions and reactions of the people around who believe other people may believe it or disbelieve it, and then they themselves modify their behaviors based on it. And that's, I think, where we're going to draw a lot of our energy, right? Um, Dead Man brings up talks about the Golden Child or Darksiders, set in the modern times, but the story is about the three kingdoms, heaven, hell, and man. The game series revolves around the members of the Four Horsemen. Yeah, and of course we on this channel we've talked about festivals and fate and prophecies and things like that, holidays and things of that nature. And yes, does this go hand in hand? Of course it does. But um, I will contend that you can get a lot of creative fuel just based on the pre, during, and post activities of the people involved that are aware of the coming of the chosen one. You know, armies will start to assemble, economies will rise and fall, people's behaviors will start to change. And with this being Monster Monday, we don't just talk about monsters, we talk about NPCs, and coming up with NPC motivations and why they are doing the things that they are is a great thing. And as a matter of fact, if you are if you're running a game where it's gotten a little bit boring or a little bit staid, a little bit, it's like, it's the same old, same old. Throw in the coming of a chosen one, and watch people's worlds turn upside down. Um, if not so much for themselves, but the people around them, and then watch how they act and or react to the things that are going on in the world. For example, red scarves start selling like gangbusters, and they start, the prices start going up exorbitantly because everyone feels that they want to be marked by the chosen one, and some rumor starts going around, or it's written in the words or whatever, that those that are marked with the red scarf will be saved or blessed or protected, or brought to the right hand of the chosen one, or brought into the kingdom of the chosen one, or something of that nature, so on and so forth, right? And then you can just go off on that, it not mattering at all whether that becomes true or not. Mr. Spencer says, my DM runs a campaign world where there are people who are referred to as exiles, mostly player characters. However, they're all just randomers from different planes who are plopped into the setting. There are prophecies that refer to actions being committed by exiles, but given how he has a world with quite a few exiles in it, it's the same as saying prophecy will be filled by a Canadian. Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? The the specificity and serial numbers rubbed off of the chosen one, right? It could be extremely specific, like at a specific day and time, or a specific family line, or individual is to come with a specific look and feel to them, or it could be pretty general, like it's the end of the world, some vague moment in the future, that kind of thing. So yes. Rickard says, DBJ, I think one of the interesting things in the Wheel of Time is how people in power relate to the Chosen One. They don't really care or believe, but how they can use them to build themselves up. And that's exactly what I'm talking about there, Rickard. How much they believe in the Chosen One in comparison to their political rivals, trying to frame a rivaling nation as blasphemers against the Chosen One, etc. And that's, to me, that's where you get I think we can get our dramatic energy from, our dramatic moments, are that power to run our stories by using something that's so overused about a chosen one. And if you have a child emperor, let's as an example, who is the chosen one, you're going to get a lot of the what's the term for people? Sniveling snakes, people trying to kiss up, those that are the Encountermancer. Well, good morning there. Hello there. I haven't seen you there before. Glad you could join us. Yeah, the people who are just trying to, first of all, you're going to have people who are just going to kiss ass, right? There are, we know of many people around us who are are professional ass kissers. They will get on bended knee, um, uh, place their face into the cheeks of the person who they're trying to kiss up to, and smooch, mwah, 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 and look at everybody else with their brownish lips, and look at them and go, they're not for you, sycophants. Thank you very much. Um, Thank you very much, Willow Packer, the storyteller. As you guys know, just because it's live and I've got lots of things going on in my head, I'm like, why isn't my thesaurus working in my head? Tons of sycophants are going to be involved in it. And what happens to you meaning me meaning us, who are the ones who see through this charade? What happens if you mention it? Or what happens if you're not if you're not a true sycophant? If you're not my friend, you're my enemy. And I feel like that's where you can really draw some power from a very overused trope of the chosen one. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, Dead Man says, Children from the Vault in Borderlands 3. And you know what? There's the other part of this is I'm not even talking about the personality or motivations of the chosen one. I'm presuming during our talk that this individual on their own is pretty powerless, that they are hey Joe Keat. Keat is like, yeah, he's back, DBJ's back, life it can return to normal. Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad to be back. I have adventured away, but I am now back. Now, the presuming that this individual doesn't have much influence on their own, maybe they are a child, maybe they have been brought from another world or nation. They are, if you want to talk science fiction, they're from another planet or dimension or time period or something. But it is the power given to them through the words and deeds of the people who believe in what's going to happen. That doesn't necessarily mean they aren't a powerful individual, like, I don't know, Baby Yoda. It doesn't mean that they don't have any ability, but on their own, they are motivationless, and the people and things around them have the motivations. I think that's where we can really draw a lot of that energy from. And especially layering this would be having people's motivations alter and change based on pre and post chosen one's arrival. You could have a very goodly and knightly order in your world, and they protect the realms, and they fight off evils, and they're dressed in their silver and golden armor, and everyone looks up to them until the chosen one arrives, and there's a rumor that they will be corrupted from the inside, or the people are like, why are you going off into run off into the sunset when you should be, protecting the chosen one and being the chosen one's bodyguards or things. And maybe one or more of these orders of the knights become sycophants because they understand that if they don't play the political game, their money, their power, their influence will be cut short. That kind of thing. Hey, Omen, thanks for coming back. Yeah, you didn't miss much. um, Dead Man says, the storyteller says, the only thing worse than sycophants would be psychophants. Yeah, we know them. They exist in our world too, right? Let think of the most die-hard supporters of any and all politicians you've seen in our world, and you've got yourself robe-wearing, card-carrying members of sycophants, right? It's like it's putting regular human beings on pedestals so high that they have in their own heads turned them into some kind of divinity themselves, and that they can do no wrong. And yeah, we could easily, you want to make parallels, yeah, do that. And I'm not specifying any particular political person, party, or anything. I'm just talking the history of politics, the history of religion. As a matter of fact, there are televangelists, especially during the mid 80s and early 90s of the televangelism era. There were people who would just, I mean, were just consumed by it, and not by the message, not by the religion, but by the individuals involved, and tack onto that some kind of foretold prophecy, and oh man, people just go crazy. So you can start to, and I don't want to blend too much into the world building thing, but because we are talking Monster Monday, but people's behaviors, you can start to twist and change them and come up with reasons why things are happening in your world. So if we stick with the NPCs, you may have pilgrimages and refugees and people altering their normal lifestyle, their behavior, in terms of the world based on the coming of the chosen one. Are people leaving the fields that where they're growing crops? Are people buying passages and stuffing themselves on the starships to get to a particular galactic center? Are there roadways being blocked by people who have walked away from their jobs and homes to be there? Yeah, yeah. Spencer says cult of personality equals evangelists, of course. Now, Ricker says, DBJ, you also have people who believe in the cause that might oppose the chosen one at first glance, as they don't care about the chosen one per se, they care about the prophecy being pulled off. And there's a, you know what, there's a lot of friction when it comes to that. I will bring up something very controversial in our modern day, and that would be the cause of those who use terrorism. Okay, there are people in the world who believe in the cause of the downtrodden, but they don't believe in the terrorism. But it puts them in a position of, well, I care about the cause, right? Like you're saying, Rickard, like I care about the cause, but now that there's this chosen one, maybe we're going a little too far, or maybe we shouldn't put all our eggs in the basket of this one individual who's, like, I don't know, an infant or untrained or whatever there may be. It could be that, listen, I just believe in the cause, and maybe we're going off the rails, or we are behaving in a way that we shouldn't have in the beginning, or maybe no one, you know, gave two craps about your cause until the chosen one came about. And now that you've been supporting this cause, now all of a sudden there's a spotlight on you and whether you believe in the chosen one. And you're sitting there like, okay, if I say the wrong thing, I might ruin my support of the cause. What do I do? Um, Joseph Keenan says cult of personality, where the chosen one isn't right, but A, doesn't know it, or B, doesn't care. The followers have too much invested to question. And that's another one. And yeah, Plora brings up the Antichrist. That's a chosen one. Oh, I'm not presuming the chosen one. Well, okay. Let me rewind a little bit. I'm not presuming the chosen one is a being of goodness. I'm saying that the people who believe the chosen one is coming believe to themselves that there is something that's going to happen that will make their lives better, or at least they hope to not have their lives get worse. And, the coming of this individual, and uh, that is its whole. I think that's where a lot of the energy comes from, where it's all the people around it, And unfortunately, we know that a puppet leader can be pushed into the forefront just simply through the power of personality from the people around them. Again. Um, yeah, yeah. Rickard says there's also the fact that they might not see the chosen one not pulling a thing, of unless something drastic happens. Oh, I'm presuming you mean like this person is not acting until something dramatic happens first. Also, people start to assign coincidences to the chosen one as well. Uh, Dramatic weather events, social impacts, economic upturns, downswings, things of that nature. So, chosen one is supposed to arrive. Storms come and kill many people. Therefore, chosen one brought or caused, or your lack of devotion to the chosen one caused the storms in the first place. Right? We've seen that plenty of times as well. You know, uh, Tesla Ranger says Firefly deconstructs this, I'm assuming, this concept with the River Tam. Her exceptional intellect and implied latent psychic ability got her chosen to go straight to the academy. She came out the other end a traumatized mental wreck, yeah, who can't be treated and suffers from both schizophrenia and uncontrolled mind powers. Yeah, that's the other thing too, right? The chosen one could be put through a crucible that they should never have gone through in the first place, simply because someone said that they were the chosen one. Hell, we've got here in the States, we are obsessed with the royal family, and how many people are obsessed with the birth of the new royal children? They are kind of considered chosen ones as well, right? When they get old enough to walk and talk and speak and have their own actions, people will follow them on bated breath and overanalyze their actions based on insignificancies, right? Yeah, Dolores, like, yeah, it's not even your royal family, you twats. You are absolutely correct. That doesn't mean you can't own it. We're experts at stealing things, including your royal family. We're gonna take that too. Oh man, Rickard says, brings up the fact the chosen one needs to get Nation X under their rule for the prophecy to work. So the way the chosen one is going about being the chosen one will never make Nation X respect them to follow them, right? NPCY takes it upon themselves to create the circumstances that would let the chosen one save Nation X and gain their loyalty. I like that a lot. Yeah, big, it's the idea of the self-fulfilled prophecy, right? No one's going to believe that the chosen one should take over Nation X, so NPCY steps in and causes the thing to happen to let this individual come forward, right? And be the chosen one in the first place, which kind of like it's it's the circumstances leading to the chosen one being chosen in the first place, but had no one done anything, the circumstances would have never happened, which I love. I love that idea. As a matter of fact, there is a somewhat controversial television series on Netflix, at least airing here in the States, called Messiah, which the two are related together, Christmas and show Messiah and things like that. But it's the while the show's a little slow in the middle, I love the concept of it. I watched it. I thought it was good. A little slow in the middle, like I said. The acting is good. The main actor that plays the Messiah is great because you're never sure, is this person really mystical? Are they a phony? Do they believe what they're saying? Is this person a psycho? Yeah, yeah, Homer says reminds me of the Disturbed song Midnight Messiah. Wow. Don't make me. Um, let's see. Let's go back up here. Mr. Spencer says having many people claim to be the chosen one may lead to a faction developing that exists to hunt down people who claim to be the chosen one and test their might. Yeah, maybe there's a faction who has parameters that people fit into for no other reason than that they might fit into the parameters of the chosen one and eliminate them. Oh, Polaris, like, yeah, insert life of Brian joke. Yep, hell yeah. Yep. Oh man, that's the unsung hero of the Monty Python's The Life of Brian. Yep. Omen says also in the Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, there's always an idiot who claims the title of chosen one, then promptly gets annihilated for it. Yeah, which is weird too. How many chosen ones have like not come about even though they've been chosen, and everyone's like, oh well, I guess we'll just have to pick number 87. you know. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, to continue with Mr. Spencer's comment, Mr. Spencer says, a faction developing that exists to hunt down people who claim to be the chosen one and test their might, only stopping if they're bested by the chosen one or the person renounces their claim, which might be their way of kind of like they could be true believers who are both eliminating the false chosen ones, waiting for the true chosen one to be there, which might be kind of odd if someone's just really good at what they do, but they're not the chosen one. But they're like, yeah, you're good enough to be the chosen one, sure. Oh man. Joseph Keenan's like perfect Johnny Quest being the chosen one. Hey, yeah, yeah. Um, he also says, I like the puppet idea. The chosen one has the personality, but is actually being manipulated from the shadows for good or ill. Of course, they're being manipulated, and the player characters could very well be the mitigating force for this individual being manipulated as well, like trying to find and get rid of the sycophants and the people in the shadows. So this individual is has a series of mentors and right hand men and women in their corner, and the PCs might kind of be defending that as well if they're part of this chosen one entourage. They might be on the outside going, yeah, we need to eliminate all these bad influences. Mr. Spencer said, I call that order the Crucible just because it's a nice image. Knights of the Crucible or Rite of the Crucible, etc. I like that. I like that a lot. The Encountermancer. Wonder how much studying you have to be the Encountermancer. The Encountermancer says the Queen is going to eat their souls and rule another century. You know, the how the chosen one maintains their power and the people that believe in it is also a thing. We've seen pretty bloody and pretty horrific people obtain power, right? Um, Queens bathing in the blood of their underlings to maintain their youth, which was a real thing. Um, sacrificing people's hearts and ripping them out to beseech the gods and things like that. We've seen that kind of stuff, and the chosen one may not call upon the punishment and death of the locals, but there may be plenty of people who are willing to give up their firstborn or have their limbs hacked off and all that other kind of things. uh yeah, Ovid. Mm-mm-mm. That's, you guys are silly. Yeah. Yeah, I thought you say virgins about queens, DBJ. Yeah, there's also the sacrifice of virgins. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, come on. As a matter of fact, you could even throw that into your own game, like having NPCs talking with the player characters in the local taverns or library or something, like rolling their eyes like, oh, here we go with the sacrifice of the virgins again, you know, throwing them into volcanoes and to appease people, or having them in the harem of the chosen one's entourage or something like that. Oh man, yeah. Rickard says, so NPC Y might seem as an antagonist at first glance, but everything they have done is for the chosen one to let the prophecy work, which is a great. I like the word antagonist, adversary, as opposed to enemy, because that individual might be pushing things, at least in their own opinion, towards a good result, but they're throwing like a monkey wrench into the system. Uh, they are, disrupting the social order. Maybe they're trying to take down whatever kind of leadership exists in the world. They may be assembling true believers, even though they themselves may not be true believers. They might be assembling true believers to go about doing things. There's also we've seen the plot of the good person creating the bad thing to happen to motivate good people to do good things, much like um, the storyline from the movie version of Constantine, right? An angel wants to bring about the Antichrist to force people to become, to bring their devotion back to, the biblical God. There is the idea of the good person, quote, and I say good, in their heads they are trying to do something good. It is the idea of the so-called good person creating a terrorist attack of death and destruction and explosions or fires or whatever, and then blaming it on what they perceive to be the enemy to force people to then um, uh, act to jump into a battle that normally they were apathetic about. We've seen that many times. And there may be many people who are motivated to cause a lot of harm simply because the chosen one exists in the world, right? Yeah, and like Plura says, the antagonist thinks they are the goody. Of course they do. Every person that has every person that has explained away the killings of innocent people have always thought themselves to be the good person. Of course, you know, mystical corgis. All right. Um, Omen says, I suddenly remembered the recent news about some random Asian lady grabbing the Pope like an unwanted follower or believer. You know, to this day, that still happens, right? There are many people who are true believers in, let's say, Catholicism, right? And then you're going to have your mix of people who it's not about being Catholic, it's about placing the Pope on a level that makes them divine, and they will do nothing, they will do everything in their power to just be in their presence, to touch this person, um, if for no other reason for to to gain that power, to gain that purity or something, however they choose to do so, you know. Yep. Omen says, quote, I killed all those people for their own good. I killed their kids, too, out of mercy, of course, right? Every rationalizing pretty terrible things is a commonality amongst human beings, and a great string to pull on for our tabletop RPG fuel that someone will, the knight that kills the the pregnant goblinoids, right? And the goblinoid kids does that, does that thing. Well, I'm not a child killer. I'm doing it because they're going to grow up to be evil because I've read the monster manual. You know what I mean? It's exactly how that fits. Rickard says, quote, operative, I'm not going to live there. There's no place for me there any more than there was for you, Malcolm. I'm a monster. What I do is evil. I have no illusions about it, but it must be done. That's the operative. That's Chiwetel Ejiofor. And what a great, what an excellent motivation for a guy, right? Um, Portrayed excellently by as the operative, the person who's like, yeah, I'm doing evil things, and I know I'm doing evil things. I'm going to martyr myself. I'm going to sacrifice my own humanity to get a thing done. I would I would dare say there are people who have joined special forces in the world who would consider themselves the same, right? I'm sacrificing my comfort. I'm going to sacrifice my humanity in many ways to make the hard decision so that others will benefit from my actions, and couching that in terms of getting the favor of the chosen one, that just means people will double down on that. Absolutely. Willow Packer says a secondary complication, fulfilling a prophecy or chosen purpose may well be entirely detrimental to the chosen one. Ooh. which creates good drama between the true believers and the chosen ones. Um, um, chosen ones over ones. I can't agree with you more with that one as well. Like the what would like a complication, let's come up with a complication, right? Like the chosen one says everyone should follow them. I don't know, let's come up with to the base of the mountain high or something like that, and the chosen one walks on a pilgrimage to get to the highest mountain there is, and people start leaving their homes, but then people start starving and they walk away from their jobs and their families, and people start walking so much that they have bloody feet. um oh oh creates good drama between true believers and the chosen ones over their loved ones. Yes, yes, I'm sorry, I was trying to infer what you said. It's uh autocorrect. I get it. Yes. um People who leave their families, their homes, their lives behind, and splitting up, having to choose between their belief and their loved ones is of major contention with people even till today, um, based on their own religious beliefs. Don't put a prophet in there, and oh man, you're gonna break up families. You could ruin whole nations. Whole nations could crumble simply by the populace, the average individuals walking away from their what they should be doing. There are people who should be cleaning streets and fixing homes and rooftops and cultivating food and teaching children and um, establishing law and order as law enforcement. All those people walk away from their jobs in mass, in a very short amount of time, and then you will have chaos. And how many kings, queens, nobles, leaders, politicians are going to want to put a stop to that? Uh, Either because they feel the chosen one is taking their power, or the chosen one is disrupting life. Like, listen, chosen one, you go off to your mountain retreat, but we still need to eat tomorrow. So yeah, no, right? There is that. There is, it's maybe people start collecting in the streets or at the base of a temple or something, and they bring with them disease and starvation and criminals and others, the false prophets who want to take advantage of the people who are doing said thing, and it becomes its own problem. And then the PCs are like, I'm trying to instill law and order, but these people are like, please wake up, you know, that kind of thing. Omen says the basic dilemma of the imperium of man, choosing to be merciful with the potential for more trouble versus putting an end to something but requires an act of cruelty. Yeah, it's the proverbial question of, if you had a time machine, would you take the time machine back in time and put a bullet in the head of baby Hitler, right? Who does that? Would you do it? And what of the person that does the thing, right? And a lot of our media today, they solve that issue by having the evil person who suddenly turns good die, or the good person who performs the evil act die. So we never have to answer the question of, what do you do with that individual? As a matter of fact, today, in our own world, we have many soldiers who are instructed to do vile things and then embracing them back into our own society. And so, how does our own society look at them? How do we look at other people's societies that embrace them? How do they look at themselves? Right. That's where the drama is. Irregardless of the idea of being instructed to do something by some mystical chosen one who may or may not have the gifts that we think of. And then if you tack on there some kind of gifts or something, wow, or you could just go off the rails when it comes to that. You go off a cliff if this chosen one truly has the power to heal or speak to everyone in their minds, or astral project, or hell, I don't know, lift a spoon up in the air, and with just the power of their mind or something. um, Mr. Spencer says, May the crucible burn away my humanity, so my heart can be free of chains that bind it. My mind can be devoid of emotions that cloud my course. Burn away the man I am, so I can be the man I have to be. That sounds like a great mantra. That sounds like something carved that would be carved in the stone or tattooed on someone's chest or something, right? That sounds like um, a, a, a paper or parchment carried in the hands of a warrior who sacrificed, has chosen to sacrifice their humanity to do the thing that their society would normally frown upon. That is a strange. That is that is where in classic Dungeons and Dragons, your lawful good and chaotic evil on the very far ends of the alignment scale make that full circle all the way back to the beginning again, and you go through whichever direction you go, right? It's the I'm good and I'm just until they decide not to be, even though they've rationalized, yeah, I'm doing this for the goodness of the people, right? I suppose some could claim the Crusades would be in that category, right? You know, we're going to turn them to Christianity, whether they like it or not. You know, um, Mr. Spenzar continues to say, "I've decided the Crucible as a faction exists to turn the chosen one from what they are to what they have to be. It's not easy to save the world, and there's only one chance to get it right." Ooh, shit! That's like forcing the square peg into the round hole, right? Like, listen, we found someone who's good enough to be the chosen one. Fine, we're just going to make them the chosen one right now, because if we don't, the world's going to, get plunged into chaos. Which, let's be honest, there are people today who are thinking the same thing, right? There's a whole television series known as Preppers, and preppers are preparing for the end of the world. Kind of sucks if the world doesn't end. you know um, it's it's a weird thing to do that, but yeah, there may be plenty of people who are like, yeah, we're going to have to force this person to become the chosen one, because if we don't, and this isn't the chosen one, how long do we have to wait till the real chosen one arrives, right? Which would be pretty hilarious if the chosen one is sitting out there waving their arms like, hey, anybody see me here? And they're like, yeah, you don't fit the mold. Like, but I am the chosen one. Sure you are. Das Welt. Encountermancer says, I like the idea of a champion sworn to find the chosen one, and after they find find the one, winds up fulfilling the prophecies himself while protecting and helping them. You know what? I love the idea of the common man stepping up to do incredible things, and that might be the thing, right? The the champion sworn to bring about the chosen one, only to find out that all their actions have led they themselves to be the chosen one, and the champion picked was just some like random schlub, like, or maybe they even volunteered, like, no one else is going to do it. I guess I'll have to do it. I'll just sacrifice myself. I mean, I'm a nobody. Who cares if I die? But as long as the chosen one sits on the council or sits on the throne or something, I'm pretty fine with it. And then along their way, they just get bigger and better and bolder, and they so don't care about their own lives that they start doing things that are become more and more incredible in the things that they do. Yep, exactly, Omen. Like a slave becoming the chosen one. I definitely agree with you. And but there's also along the way, we also know of um, many religious stories that deal with a person from humble beginnings rising to prominence, and the slaying. What's the prophecy of the chosen one? There are many people who want to kill the child before that child becomes chosen in the first place, therefore bringing about the rise of the chosen one to begin with, right? It is the classic Superman tale, which the Superman tale has been pulled from biblical stories, where King knows person, Noble knows someone will be born that will take over their throne. Noble sets about killing all the children that fit the parameters. Someone, seeing children being killed because of fitting the parameters of the chosen one, sends Child away. Child then grows up to in a world where the people who fit that parameter are being killed in the streets, to then be motivated to take out the noble in the first place, who does the self-fulfilled prophecy, right? And we've seen many different ways. Yep, Dead Man and Storyteller says the movie Babylon AD uses a similar premise, a Vin Diesel movie, as a matter of fact. But yes, we've seen that trope used as well. The individual who causes, through their actions to try to stop a thing, causes the thing to happen in the first place, which in many ways you could have a chosen one prophecy, never pick a chosen one, and simply by the actions of and reactions of the people and the PCs, that chosen one might rise to prominence, maybe even becoming one of the player characters. Who knows? Yeah, Owen says, like, they think the guy that appointed him was the chosen one, but in reality, the slave was the chosen one all along, and the guy that appointed him just encouraged him to answer the call. True. There's also the idea of the real chosen one who doesn't want to be chosen at all. The noble who wants to walk away, the noble child or young one that wants to walk away from who and what they are, and let their underling take their place. Or maybe they understand that they don't have the capability to reshape the world, but their pretty mundane friend has great ideas and a good heart, and is like, no, yeah, I think you need to be on the on the throne. And they're like, me on the throne? I'm a nobody. I wasn't born from anything, and that in itself becomes the motivating factor. So yeah, I absolutely agree. Now, oh, Mr. Spensar says they are the sledgehammer that drives the square peg into the round hole. Sure are. The crucible. We're going to make you the chosen one, whether you like it or not. Exactly. Right. Hell, we've seen how much evil vitriol has been spewed out in the geekosphere about the three most recent Star Wars movies in the saga, right? Episode 7, 8, and episode 7, 8, and 9. I mean, people have, whether someone is a Skywalker or not, whether someone has the Force or not, someone's a Jedi or not, someone's a Sith or not, in our own world, with fake intellectual property of stories about space wizards, have pushed people to make death threats, become become racist, have called for people's heads to be fired, pulled out in the street, and killed. Yeah, Mr. says, yeah, it's because they're trash. Yes, we literally, a movie about space wizards and laser swords has driven, and I'm part of the geek sphere, have driven ourselves to literally want to create death threats for people. So, listen, yeah, you might want to pull that back. Let me say it, right? Though in our own time we've seen it, and there is no chosen one, and yet we have fans of movies who are like, this is effing blah blah blah, and you suck, and I hate you, over a movie. Don't let real Jedi and Sith exist in this world. You know what I mean? uh yeah, Mr. Spencer says the better safe than sorry prophetic order. We picked the chosen one so you don't have to. Yeah, right. Um, that's funny. I I'm just thinking of a prophetic order that's like, yeah, we're the good enough prophetic order. Like Rickard is saying, because he was having a personal conversation, but says, Rickard Johansson says, multiple people who fit 9 out of 10 criteria, everyone wondering who among them will live up to the 10th criteria. Yeah, that is the thing, right? How many people, it's the sword and stone idea. Someone steps up to pull the sword out of the stone. If 6 people can pull the sword out of the stone, what happens then, right? You get the one guy who pulls the sword out of the stone, but they don't fit the other criteria. But you have dozens of other people who fit 9 out of 10 of the criteria, except for picking the sword out of the stone, right? They're good, they're just, they're noble, they are great military leaders, that kind of thing. So yeah, yeah. uh, yeah, yeah, Omen. Like, what if Jar Jar Binks was the chosen one all along? That's it. I'm banned now. Yeah, yeah. How true. How true. Yeah, there's Benzar. Yeah, having criteria for the chosen one leads to persons who, meet, like 5 out of 10 criteria trying to fulfill the prophecy. And also, come on, we're kind of selfish, right? Like, if there was a prophecy of a chosen one being chosen, even if it was not ourselves, come on. We all want to be around when it happens. No one in our lifetime is like, you know what? I can't wait for the chosen one to come about when I'm dead. It's pretty selfish of us that we all think that the important thing that's going to happen is going to happen in the lifetime that is established for each of us, as opposed to the thing has already happened or the thing will happen, and I'm the boring middle part that gets, I'm the chapter that everyone skips past. No one thinks of themselves that way. So there's a little bit of arrogance when it comes to chosen one prophecies, and yeah. Oh man. Rickard says you also get a lot of people banking on their candidate being the chosen one. Of course, if you put your time and energy, if you've walked away from your life and to follow a prophet or follow the coming of the chosen one that will arrive at a particular time and place, or you believe in it, come on, there's a halfway point where you can either turn back around, put your shoes back on, and go, yeah, I better get back to work and be with my family, or follow this person off a cliff. And once you start walking off that cliff, rationalizing why you're there, you're just like, shit, this person isn't the chosen one. I'm gonna make them the chosen one because I just wasted. I ruined my life. I'm walking around here barefoot, and I freaking hate being barefoot. Yeah, I'm gonna shove this square peg into this round hole, whether they want to be or not, right? There is a lot of that, especially if that person was a charlatan, or a series of events led this individual to meet the criteria, or at least close enough. So yeah. Tesla Ranger says a multiple choice chosen. Multiple characters could potentially be the chosen out of a list of shared criteria. Yeah, yeah. And then how do you pick the right one? Like, is there one criteria that someone wants to put ahead of the other ones? Is there a criteria everyone just ignores so that, well, they meet 8 out of 10? Let's destroy the other 2 criteria. Just make it 8 out of 8, right? Oh, yep, the Crucible picking the wrong candidate. Of course, picking the wrong candidate, putting them up on a. Could you imagine? The Crucible does all these evil things, picks the wrong candidate, puts them up on the pedestal. They bring about a society of peace and prosperity, and the chosen one is sitting back twiddling their thumbs like, wow, they didn't need me at all. That's great. I guess I'll just go get an ice cream and hang out in the back here. Which would be pretty hilarious. The real chosen one is just like, yes, they did what I wanted them to do all along, even though they never knew I was the chosen one to begin with, because they found someone to become the chosen one. Yeah, Omen's like, to be honest, I don't want to be around for the chosen one, because as is often the case, something usually goes really, really bad before the chosen one appears. Remember that in real life religions, the major figures appear in a time of trouble, such as in a time of slavery, oppression, or genocide. Yeah. Um, how often do we hear about people who think this way and they never associate themselves as the individuals who are going to be the ones killed, punished, tortured, left at the bottom of the totem pole, right? Just like people placing um, pick a random politician and putting them up on a pedestal, no one believes that they're going to be the one left behind when their politician comes to power, right? They feel like, oh well, I'm in support of them. Of course, I'll get all the goodies when I put this person up because they are the right and true politician that I've chosen. Of course they are. Yep, yep, yeah, there it is, Omen. Behold, a great red dragon and a woman clothed in the sun. Hey, I hear you, Charlie. Charlie, this ice cream is the chosen one. Rocky Road. I'm a salted caramel person myself, but but yes, there are plenty of people who are just like, genocide, death, slavery. I won't be part of that. So whatever. I'll be protected. No one thinks of that part, right? Oh man. Mr. Spenzar says, I like to think the Crucible would have enough devotees that several candidates for Chosen One would be pitted against each other anytime candidates are put forward. My pick's better than your pick. Yeah. Or, or someone's in the Crucible like, listen, guys, how about we have a multiple choice just in case this first one doesn't come about? We might want to have a couple of options if this doesn't work. And they're like, yeah, I think you're right. We need to hedge our bets on this one. So let's see. That'll be chosen one number one. They'll be chosen two. You'll be chosen three. Just in case. Here. Like a play. Listen, we need you to learn all the good parts just in case the the real chosen one gets killed. Uh, Yeah, I hear you, Omen. Yeah, it's only easy to side with the hero when things are going good for them. I hear you. When things are bad, everyone's just like they'll just jump ship in a minute. Rickard says, could even splinter such an organization into various factions, each as zealous as their chosen. Of course, we see that today, right? Where a chosen organization will splinter themselves because one organization isn't as they feel like they're not as zealous. Uh, the zealotry isn't as pronounced because they feel that they are the one true organization to bring about the one true thing. Yeah, the chosen one understudy. Yes. Listen, this century, the chosen one will be played by the true chosen one has a head cold. The new chosen one will be played by someone else. Yep, the chosen one and his understudy, of course. The chosen Olympics. I hear your encounter, man. So like so like the chosen Olympics. And representing, each nation brings in their chosen one, and representing their country is rolling their eyes. The chosen one. Guys, can we come up with a better name for this? Running around with the flag on their back, like, yeah. Oh man. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. How do I do the hug? I gotta give you guys a huge hug. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being like, yeah, I can't wait for him to come back. Yeah, they could use it. I could see them using different languages. Hey, the chosen one speaks their own language. You know, um, I love that. Mrs. Spencer says the chosen one is struck down by the Dark Lord. Hi, I'm Rick. I'm the backup chosen one. Pleased to meet you. The chosen one being immortal, but more like the dread pirate Roberts. And Joseph Keenan. Thank you guys for having me back. We are gearing down. We will continue this conversation later this week. Of course, tomorrow is Discord Tuesday, World Building Wednesday. We got Third Pillar Thursday, my favorite. Yep, etc. etc. So yeah, I got to head off to work, guys. Yeah, it's too soon. Kind of strange too, because I'm kind of bucking the system here. This long form content really doesn't lend itself to being something that is widely embraced. Oh man, Charlie's like the language of exposition and Oscar moments. Oh, Oscar moments. People tripping and falling on their way up to the podium to take the chosen one statue. I'm so glad you chose me. Trip, fall, bang. And what happened? Like, would you, if this person has fulfilled every prophecy, but they trip and fall on their way to accepting the mantle of being the chosen one and like break their nose or something? Like, would you like renege on that? Like they do, like something really simple happens, like they get up on stage and then they like their stomach's fluttering, so they like vomit a little bit or something. Work equals a 4-letter word. It sure does. So guys, thank you very much. I will say, ooh, Rickard. Okay, I'm gonna read this before we go. Yep. Charlie's like, yep, step on a rake, you go down. Oh, Charlie Squared, you're so funny. Yep, doing the whole cartoon step on the rake and like wham right in the face. And everyone's like, did what do we do? And someone in the background's like, get him a napkin or some ice. Like, what do you mean? What do you do? They broke their nose. Big deal. Whatever. Oh man. Yeah, part of a prophecy for the chosen ones in a game I'm planning. 3 times the red eye shall gaze upon the world. 3 times the spires shall fall. 3 times to herald their arrival. With their arrival, the world shall know true madness and despair. Weep for the unmaker. Weep for the soul of Amarath. Amnoth. I see them. The land itself crumbles before them. God's protect me. I see them. Prophecy of the red eye. There's something cool about creating a prophecy that is, and it's difficult to do that as a writer, and I'm saying this because I love how this is written, that it's specific enough that it's not something that'll happen by accident, but it's general enough that if circumstances were to present themselves, you could very easily claim that this prophecy has happened or will happen or is happening now, which is the whole thing about prophecies and chosen ones, right? You know, it's if the 3 storms, you know, come upon the land and the Dark King steps forward or something, and you're just like, okay, well, let's see, is it possible for 3 storms to happen? Yes. The Dark King, could it be like a dark cloak, or maybe their skin tone's dark, or they do a dark act? Could that fit in? Yeah, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing where given enough evidence, someone could rationalize a thing happening, and yeah. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you very much for just being here, just supporting me and what I do. I really appreciate it. For those who are new to the channel, I have gained some new subscribers. I hope you are able to participate to oops, that way. To hear, you know, of course, I'm part of Critical Hit Publishing. I'm a contributing writer, and of course, this is where our subject. I might change this around a little bit, but this is what we're talking about: Monster Monday to Tuesday, and all the little writing down in there with Fantasy Grounds, SoundCloud. I will be more proactive in uploading some of our episodes to SoundCloud, so you can listen to them as a podcast. There's about 40 or 50 episodes, older ones on there as well. And yeah, we go live Monday through Friday. So guys, thank you very much. For those who don't know, I will be in the Discord for 5 to 10 minutes or so before I head off to work. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. Everyone, have a great one. I will see you later. Bye.